What is up, Commentary Nation? I'm your host, Commentary, back with another video. Before we get into it, I just have to say thank you guys. We just passed 100 subscribers on the channel. Thanks to you all enjoying and interacting with the videos I make. I've wanted to be a YouTuber and make YouTube videos for a long time, and the fact we made it this far is super motivating for me to keep going and make more quality content for your sub box. We're a fifth of the way to monetization, and if we're able to make it that far, I'll do a face reveal Q&A for all you beautiful ladies and gentlemen, and you can see who you've been watching. But with all that said, let's get into the new video. So I grew up during the heyday of the Gameboy Advance. It was of course a console released in North America on June 11th, 2001. This was only a couple months before the release of the GameCube, which was later that year on November 18th, 2001. This created a dual console generation of Nintendo games that featured a lot of experiments in the new technologies for games that were played on each of these consoles. There were external accessories like the e-reader, which was kind of an early imagining of what amiibos would eventually become. There were several types of device linking tools like the GBA wireless adapter, which connecting wirelessly between Game Boys was pretty big at the time, and the GBA GameCube link cable that basically gave you bonus content for compatible GameCube games. But what I'm going to be talking about today is a short-term experiment in video playback known as the Gameboy Advanced video cartridges. GBA video cartridges are an alternate type of Game Boy Advance game cartridge that loaded video playback rather than an actual video game on the Game Boy Advance. They primarily featured episodes of kids' TV shows like Kids Next Door, SpongeBob, Pokemon, and The Fairly Odd Parents, which were of course all massive shows during this time period. It seemed like an obvious collaboration because all of the kids playing games on Game Boy Advances were also watching these shows. So keeping with the spirit of portable gaming consoles, like why not give them a way to take those shows wherever they wanted? Ultimately, around 40 individual cartridges were produced and sold with the Nintendo license between 2004 and 2007. The cartridges were primarily developed by DC Studios or 4Kids and published by Majesco, with the only exception being the Pokemon GBA video cartridges, which were entirely published by Nintendo themselves. Each cartridge contained 2 to 4 episodes of its subject TV show or the network that the collection was for, totaling around 40 minutes of content that kids could watch and rewatch to their heart's desire. There were also a total of 3 full feature-length films ported to the GBA video movie packs, which were honestly some bangers: Shrek, Shrek 2, and Shark Tale. I managed to purchase 3 of these cartridges for $32 to show you guys today in our first live action commentary segment. To the copyright holders, this is absolutely transformative in nature, and to you at home watching this, let's see what these cartridges have to offer. The first screen you're met with when booting one of these is the cartridge explicitly telling you that it doesn't work with the Game Boy Player. Now, the Game Boy Player was an accessory for the GameCube released in 2003, which allowed you to play Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games on the TV using a GameCube controller. I had this as a kid, and it was absolutely sick. You could like sit back and play Pokemon Emerald on the TV, which was just awesome. But Nintendo and the copyright owners of the episodes being released on GBA video cartridges forbid them from being ran on the Game Boy Player, citing copyright fears. They were afraid that people would record them onto a VHS tape and redistribute the episodes illegally. Starting off, we have Codename Kids Next Door Volume 1, otherwise known as the only dedicated Kids Next Door cartridge ever distributed, making this a complete one-of-one collection of GBA video cartridges produced for this IP. This cartridge contains 4 episodes, those being Season 1, Episode 3A, Operation No Power, where the treehouse power goes out and they fight an old lady who flattens kids. Season 2, Episode 9 in its entirety, Operation Report, where the kids next door each tell their own stupid version of a story involving an ordinary package. and Operation Brief, where Number One's underwear starts attacking him. And we have Season 2, Episode 12A, Operation Dogfight, where Number Two repeatedly gets his plane shot out of the sky. Yeah, so to me, these seem like just randomly picked episodes, which you'll soon see is common on these GBA video cartridges. There are additional Kids Next Door episodes available on non-Kids Next Door specific cartridges, like the Cartoon Network Collection Volumes 1, 2, and Limited, for a total of 7 episodes of Kids Next Door put to the 240 by 160 screen. And despite the really bad screen resolution by today's standards, I was honestly shocked by how nice these kind of look on the small Game Boy Advance SP screen. I didn't put these into an original Game Boy Advance, but at least on this screen it is so small that the resolution doesn't really seem to be impacting much of what we're looking at here. The next one that I was able to get my hands on is the Nicktoons Collection Volume 2. It was one of the 3 Nicktoons collections put out that each had episodes from SpongeBob, The Fairly Odd Parents, Danny Phantom, Rocket Power, and All Grown Up. Yo, Rugrats reference, People Link Video. Volume 2 specifically has SpongeBob Season 1, Episode 9 in its entirety, its segments being 9A Nature Pants, where SpongeBob runs off to live with a jellyfish. And actually, let me just cut in here. SpongeBob was absolutely wild in this episode. I mean, both of these screenshots are from this episode, man. Like, what was Bob doing? And Episode 9B, Opposite Day, the classic episode where they screw with that realtor and she crashes out on him. Rocket Power, Season 1, Episode 19A, where the boys go down a ski slope way above their pay grade. And Fairly Odd Parents Season 3, Episode 17B, Oddball, where Timmy gets teleported to the store naked while the Crimson Chin and H2 Olga duke it out. So as you can see, another strange collection of episodes, and we see another Episode 9 being included in its entirety. Something I want to point out is that the Krusty Krab Pizza episode is actually available on the Nicktoons Collection Volume 1, meaning that somewhere out there you can buy an officially distributed, deep-fried Game Boy compressed version of the Krusty Krab Pizza song. A total of 12 SpongeBob episodes were made available across 6 different cartridges, which I am making it a goal to collect all of for the purposes of preservation and because it's kind of hilarious. They're deep-fried, it's Game Boy quality. I just want them all, you know. And finally, we have what I unquestionably think is the coolest cartridge I could get my hands on. Dragon Ball GT. Dragon Ball is a series I hold near and dear to my heart, so to find this cartridge at my local game shop felt pretty sweet, even if it was GT instead of Z. But on this cartridge, we have this sick picture of Super Saiyan 4 Goku just staring us down, and 2 full episodes. The first is A Grand Problem, which is a compilation episode recapping the first 16 episodes of Dragon Ball GT, which were not originally aired in America. And we do get to see the Black Star Dragon Ball Wish and Goku get transformed into a kid on the Game Boy screen, which is pretty cool, but there are some pretty cursed scenes where the quality just isn't there. And Season 2, Episode 1, Pan's Gambit, which is the first episode of the Baby Saga where Pan fights the Sigma Force. This was such a strange way to make anime accessible in general, but especially because it's Dragon Ball GT. Like, Dragon Ball GT is just kind of obscure in terms of like Dragon Ball, and not a lot of people have watched it in full, and the people that have really don't like it. So I mean, I guess I could kind of see them putting this on a GBA video cartridge because it was kind of like fresh, released in the 90s, but overall, just a strange one to make a cartridge out of when like your other options are like SpongeBob, Pokemon, you know. The GBA video cartridge officially ceased production in late 2007. It makes me wonder, like, what was the plan for these cartridges? Did they expect to somehow release full series in this format if it was a commercial success? Were there other DreamWorks movies planned to release on the movie pack cartridges? I would have loved to watch Over the Hedge on my Game Boy Advance, but that's just me. There were no DS video cartridges, but if there was, would we have eventually gotten a Breaking Bad Nintendo DS collection cartridge? You let me know what you think about that in the comments, or, you know, whatever your thoughts are. Did you guys have these? Do you all know something about these that I didn't mention? Should I find more of these and make a part 2 about it? I mean, if you like the video, dislike it if you dislike it, and I am out.